What's up, guys? Cortese back here with another video. Today we are talking about hip mobility in relation to full squats for weightlifting. Alright? Now, my definition of a squat in relation to weightlifting, which is the clean, jerk, and the snatch, and also the way we teach squats for our athletic performance model for our athletes here at the gym, is we like to see full range of motion squat all the way down to the floor, ass touching the heels, eventually. Now, not everybody's going to have that good of depth starting out. It's just one of those things that for a long time, let's say we have a 16 or 17-year-old kid who's coming in who's been doing quarter squats or half squats, which they think they're full squatting, and they look like they're squatting about here when they stand up, right? I'm sure you've seen that. If you've ever spent time in a high school weight room, the average kid thinks he squats 400 pounds, and he's squatting about this low. And that's giving a little too much room, probably more like here. Okay? So their hips move about 6 inches, their knees bend a little bit, and they're quarter squatting. But they might be sitting on a box, they might be touching a string, I don't know. But to me, I prefer full range of motion, a little bit less weight, which develops better range of motion in the hips and ankles, and it's more athletic. It's an athletic posture. Not to say that box squats are bad or anything, but I just prefer the high bar squat in relation to squatting for athletes. All right. So we're going to go over a couple tricks that I like to use to help improve mobility in the squat and get people just sitting down all the way. All right, and it's just second nature. First things first, if you don't have a pair of shoes, you should get a pair. They're not essential, but they do help immensely, especially if you have very tight ankles and calves. When somebody sits down in a squat, I hope you guys can see this, when they're sitting down in the squat position and their ankles go like this and their heels come off the ground, they've got very, very tight calves. Now, what a weightlifting shoe does is it has a little bit of a heel, and that kind of helps assist with the sitting down portion of the squat, right? And it kind of it allows the knees to kind of travel forward and out. And as you can see this, I'm sitting here comfortably, all right? Just a little bit more comfortable, okay? It assists with the movement of the shin forward, all right? So right now I'm sitting on my heels. The weight is evenly distributed throughout my foot. Chest is up, eyes are forward. Alright, this is very comfortable because I do this all the time. Alright? Not everybody's going to be comfortable down in the squatting position. Eventually they should. This should be something that they should be able to hold all day. Alright? So now the question comes to me and they go, well, how do I squat this low without my back running over? Or without crumbling forward and my heels coming off the ground? Well, there's a couple stretches that we like to do. First is the hip flexors. If these muscles and the quads are tight, they're going to pull you forward constantly, okay? So something as simple as stretching the quads, like this, it will help. Very simple stretch, you can do it on the floor as well. Another very classic hip flexor stretch. Down on one knee, and we go forward, raise the arms up, and we're just going to hold this position for a minute, and we switch sides, okay? And that's a stretch you should feel the quads all the way up, all right? That right there will help you sit lower in the squat. Now, if I had a partner here with me, I could demo this for you, but if somebody's having trouble with the squat, you want to stand right behind them, okay? So I would say, to an athlete, just go ahead and sit down for them as low as you can. You can also use a wall for like a spotter, but their chest should be upright, nice and tall. A great tool for this is the goblet squat, just to get used to what this should feel like. Hold a very light weight to your chest, and this is a Coach Dan John exercise, great exercise for beginner athletes, trying to groove that pattern of full squatting with an upright torso. Okay, so we say hold the weight to our chest, preferably a dumbbell. Even this could be a light plate, anything. Okay. Now, if somebody were to squat and we say just sit down, keep your chest up. Okay, your feet should be about hip width apart. Weight on the heels. As we sit down, the knees are going to go out slightly. Okay? Nothing changes here. Alright? My torso is still upright, and we're literally sitting between our feet. for sitting straight down. Chest is up, alright? If you were to go forward, you're going to lose the weight and start pulling you forward like this, alright? Not a comfortable position. This is very comfortable, alright? Then we stand up, alright? So the hips should not move backwards too much, nor should they move forward too much, alright? They should be, moving just enough so we can sit, stand, alright? When you get good enough with this will carry over seamlessly into back squats and front squats. Alright, when somebody puts a bar on their back, nice and high in the traps, or they rack the bar, like they're doing a clean, right behind the shoulders, they're still going to be able to sit down all the way. Back squat, they'll still be able to sit down all the way. Okay? This is something that you got to be patient with, and it's, if you think about it, full squat is a great stretch. Every time you sit down, it's like basically somebody pushing you down, all that weight on your shoulders. And something that you have to progress very, gradually. For beginners especially. If this, the weight's pushed too soon, just like with anything, start to develop some tendonitis issues, or somebody will get frustrated because they're just not progressing, or just one of those things that you got to just be smart about and understand that. Full squatting is one of those, exercises that may check your ego at first. We've had athletes come in here who are used to squatting 3 plates, 315. Yet when they full squat, they can maybe full squat their body weight, if that. Okay, it's a humbling exercise at first. When I first switched over to full squats, high bar back squat, full all the way down, couldn't squat nearly as much as my low bar or my half squat. But I've been doing it consistently for a couple years, and it's now surpassed my old low bar half squat numbers. Okay, so again, I train for weightlifting, so this is a position that needs to be trained over and over with an upright torso, catching the bar in this upright squat position. Okay, if you train with half squats with a wide stance, it's not going to carry over to weightlifting at all. All right. So if you are an athlete and you're using the clean jerk and the snatch, you need to be doing full squats. It's just, there's no other way around it. And we teach, as you can see with the platforms and the bars and bumpers, we teach weightlifting at our gym. So we expect everybody to be able to sit down in full squat. And the whole mantra that full squats are bad for your knees is not true. It creates strength around the joints, and it creates flexibility in the hips. And it's also training, core stability as you sit down. So that in itself is creating a better athlete. You know what I mean? So like the ankles are getting stretched as well. Every time you sit down, the knees travel forward a little bit. It's a great stretch for the ankles. Alright? And if you want to just get a good stretch, you can kind of rock back and forth. And you can feel that back here when you do this. Alright? Just back and forth, back and forth. Eventually you'll loosen up. Alright? So it's something you got to work at. Keep working at it. You can also sit down, another Dan jog trick that I learned from him. When you sit down, drive the knees out with the elbows. Just push them out until your hips start to sink lower. You'll feel that. And as you kind of rock back and forth, you'll feel your hips start to sink a little bit lower and lower. This should be second nature to you if you do it long enough. Okay? So again, just be patient. Understand this will take time and dedication, and something, again, that if you are serious about becoming a good athlete and a better weightlifter, in relation to the clean and jerk and the snatch, you need to get comfortable down there in that position. Alright? Because you can only power so much. You can only power clean, catch the bar here so much. Or power snatch so much. Eventually you're going to have to catch them low. Right? So, I mean, if you want to get good and lift heavier weights, you got to get down there under the bar. Okay? So that's it, guys. Full squats, in my opinion, are better. Practice them, keep doing them. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. And again, practice, stretch, and progress slowly on the back and front squats. Goblet squat if you need to, and get some shoes. They help. They're lifelong. They should last you a long time. A little bit of money up front, but they're well worth it. I use Adidas. Just search weightlifting shoes on Google. You'll find plenty of shoes. All right, guys, that's it. John Cortese, ctsgym.com. See you later.